Welcome to the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G, bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. We're talking about Mike McDaniel getting fired today. We're talking about football games this weekend. We're talking about betting, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, man, the people in the room. G Money Grant Mitchell, how you doing?
Man, it's hard to be doing better than I am because I absolutely nailed the Ollie Gordon anytime touchdown 5-1 last night. Called it out on the show. We posted it here, guys. If you make sure you watch the video, you get gems like that. But yeah, I said it was going to happen pretty soon. I bet on it last night. It cashed. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, he was a big part of the offense last night because Achane can't run the ball. Even though he did run better last night than he's run in the past.
He's a receiver playing running back, I feel like.
Well, the Bills did a good job shutting down the pass catching for him. Like, they did not let him get a lot of yards there, which I was surprised with. As far as running the football, though, he had a better night. The running game looked good. The Dolphins' offense looked good. And we're going to talk about this in a minute. But overall, it's really the defense and late mistakes by TUA that always cost them games.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. We got betting picks for the weekend. We're going to look at some big games, talk about some player props, the big picks, make some parlays out of all those. We got a lot coming up on the show, guys.
But before we talk about that, make sure you guys smash the subscribe button, like the podcast, share the podcast with a friend of a friend of a friend so we can take this thing to the freaking moon. And also check out WSN.com. And Grant, tell them why they need to check out WSN.com, which is what we are presented by here on the podcast.
100%, Tanner. That is correct. And if you go to WSN.com, you are going to get previews and breakdowns of all the biggest games in the NFL, but also in European soccer and the NBA when it returns, and the MLB and the NHL, all the big sports. We got breakdowns of every game. We got experts giving out player props, big picks. I write picks against the spread for every game in the NFL every week. I said it on WSN.com. Tanner and I said it here on the channel. The Dolphins were going to cover that plus 12.5 line. They did it last night. It's a great start to the weekend right now. So if you're not locked in here, if you're not subscribed here, if you're not going to WSN.com, then you're missing out. And it's not our fault because we tried to warn you.
Yeah. Now, when I was watching the game last night, I didn't think they were going to cover, especially early on. I'm like, they are going to have to get stops on a couple drives and score on every drive. It was really the missed field goal by Prater before the half where the Dolphins were able to go down the field score. That's kind of what changed the momentum of the game. But there were so many moments. Like, if you had Dolphins plus 11.5, plus 10.5, you were very nervous throughout the entire game because there were multiple times in the third quarter where the Bills had the ball up 7 with a chance to go up 14. And at that point, who knows what's going to happen. But they kind of went limp. The Bills offense went limp in the third quarter, and that's what allowed the Dolphins to cover the spread.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about the Prater thing. I thought it had to have been a blown operation, bad snap, bad hold, something. He didn't just miss. It wasn't off target. The ball wasn't spinning correctly. So I don't know what he did, but he messed that up. Dolphins go down the field, bleed the clock, go straight into halftime, score with like 15 seconds left. So that was perfect. And as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, they're going to cover. I don't think the Bills are going to pull away. Yes, there were some moments here and there, but overall, once that happened, I was like, I feel like we're plain sailing going into the second half.
I hate Matt Prater. I genuinely hate Matt Prater. Do you remember last year? I think it was last year when I posted the video of like him missing a kick. It was like he was.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And it went pretty viral. And like his sisters and family, I think his wife was in the comment section, like saying, talking shit. You remember that?
Yeah.
It got so bad, honestly. I had to pull it. Like, I had to go private on it so it would like stop circulating for a while. Like, that's how.
So you got beef with Matt Prater.
I got beef with Matt Prater. I got beef with Matt Prater's like sisters and wives. I couldn't tell which one was which, but there were like 4 or 5 Prater women in the comments cussing me out over what I said about Matt Prater because he sucks because he missed a 20-yard chip shot with the laces. And like last night, that was a terrible kick. That was I don't know if the laces were in or out, whatever. It doesn't matter. You should be able to make that kick.
I haven't seen a ball spin like that. I thought the holder had to like have put it flat on the ground because it didn't spin like a normal kick does.
He looks old. Like, he looks feeble every time he kicks the ball. It looks like his
legs. Is he like 40 or 41?
I think he might be 42, 43, 44.
He's 41.
I wonder what it feels like, though, when you're kicking for the Bills, knowing Tyler Bass is, I don't know when he's coming back, but I'm assuming he's coming back at some point, and you're just going to get cut. I don't know how that feels.
So the Commanders took that to a new level on the Thursday night game against the Packers. Their punter Abdul Carter in week 1 partially blocked a punt and he crashed into the punter, Tress Way. So Way was like kind of hobbled a little bit because he landed funny. So he practiced all week. The Commanders signed a punter, elevated them off the practice squad to the 48-man active roster squad, took him up to Green Bay, also took Tress Way. So they had 2 punters with them, and Tress Way warmed up, and he was fine, and he punted against Green Bay. So that punter signed a contract, flew out to Green Bay just to do nothing, and then they immediately cut him when they got back.
You got a game check, though.
He did get a game check. He cashed out.
They figured make it a little extra dough. Not that he needs it at this point, but yeah, it was a really good game. It was entertaining. There was never a point where like I had Bills for Survivor, same with my buddy, and he was texting me all the time, really close. It's really close. I'm like, there was never a point in the game where I thought Buffalo was going to lose the football game. It was always the Bills to win. There was never a moment where I'm like, Dolphins could win this game. Like it would have taken some severe Bills breakdowns for the Dolphins to have any chance of winning the football game.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like, so I actually saw a stat this morning, which was Tua completed the same amount of passes in front of the line of scrimmage that he did behind them, 11 each. Josh Allen had 1 completion beyond 10 yards in this game. So this was not a masterclass in quarterbacking from either side, but I do have to say, watching that first half specifically, I was like, does Tua know he can throw to players who don't have a jersey that says H-Chan on the back of it? He is allowed to throw to his receivers. And if that first read isn't there, if he doesn't have someone to throw to within 1 second, he's scrambling to the left every time, whether there's pressure or not. He was rolling out to the left. And I just watching this game, I get it's against the Bills. It's a short week. It's a division rival. I get all of that. But from how Tua has started this season to this being his best game where he was okay-ish, still threw an interception, the Dolphins are just screwed for the long term. That's all I get from this. They're giving massive money to Tyreek Hill, who might be in jail soon. If you listen to that Amazon broadcast, did you see that, by the way?
That was wild, just out of nowhere. So I bet, funny enough, I bet Tyreek to catch a pass because I had like FanDuel had a boost for pass catching. So I bet him to catch a pass on that drive. And that was the drive where Tua missed the shot over his head, which would have been an easy catch for him. But right before that, I'm like, oh man, like this is not good. Like he's probably not going to catch a pass on this drive. It's like Tyreek Hill the NFL is currently undergoing investigations that Tyreek Hill beat up his wife 8 times. I was like, oh my God.
He was arrested in 2015. Like they were giving you the whole rap sheet rundown. And honestly, look, we're not there. We don't know. Tyreek has admitted to his involvement in certain things. He's been accused a lot. Like he's probably not a good dude. Let's just I think we can all guess now what exactly has he done. We don't know, but probably not a good dude. And right now he's 31 years old. His cap hit next year is $52 million. The Dolphins, if they want to cut him, they can do that for a $16 million hit, which I think they'll do because I don't think they want to pay $52 million of account for $52 million against the cap next year. Tua next year, $56 million against the cap. Then it goes to 53. Then it goes to 66. They're paying huge money in the case of Tyreek Hill for going to soon to be 32-year-old receiver who's going downhill. Tua, who continually proves that he's not a franchise quarterback. You're probably firing your head coach. The defense can't get stops. I mean, they gave up 31 points in this game, and we think they did a good job. This team is just screwed. I have no clue where they go.
I don't think Mike McDaniel's the problem. I don't know if he's a great head coach, but I think offensively he's fine. I think you need somebody to come in and run the defense who's legitimate. And whoever's doing it now is not. I think Tyreek Hill will obviously be cut. I think he'll end up somewhere else next year. From the quarterback position, though, I do think Tua is good enough to be a starter in the NFL. Like, there's a lot of things he has to work on, but Tua doesn't necessarily get the rap as far as in the media as like he's not a starter. He just gets the bad rap of like, yeah, he turns the ball over too much. But you don't hear it like, hey, this guy's not the guy that can be your starting quarterback long term. That's not really a conversation that we hear around him. It's just more like, hey, he turns the ball over. He's really good or he's really bad.
Well, yeah, he's definitely a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. The problem is every NFL team wants to pay their quarterback like top or near top of the market money. And that's the issue because Tua should not be making in the same ballpark as Lamar, yet they are because they're both starting quarterback. It's not, if we're being honest and fair, and this is where feelings get hurt, and this is where players probably say, screw it, I'm not signing a contract with you because I feel insulted by the offer you gave me. But if we were being realistic for everything, you'd have your Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, maybe throw Matthew Stafford, maybe if you want to, and you'd have that tier. Then you'd have like your Justin Herbert, your Jalen Hurts, your Jared Goff. You'd have that tier, and there would be noticeable differences. Dak Prescott would not be making $60 million. That's reserved for Lamar and Mahomes. And then you got Dak at like 50, and then you get Hurts and Goff at like 40. But that's not how it works. So I guess I feel bad for the Dolphins in one way because they did get their hand forced into this, and now their franchise is probably screwed for the next 3, 4, 5 years. But they were also the ones who made this conscious decision. And if you remember, Brian Flores, who now we look at as like the best assistant coach in the NFL, the best coordinator in the NFL, he was saying he's not the guy. I benched him for Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's not the guy. Don't sign him. And they opted to fire Flores and sign Tua.
Yeah, you need a guy like Brian Flores to come run your defense, though. Like that's the thing.
They need anything they can get.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, they're fine. Like, they are fine. Tua can turn the ball over. They played a little better defense. They're fine. And you look at Tua's stats. I was going back and look at those interceptions. This year, interceptions are not off to a good start for Tua. He's throwing a pick in every game. I think he's got, 4 on the season already in 3 games. But if you go back to last year, the end of last season, as far as just throwing picks, he only had 1 game where he threw 3 picks. The rest was pretty good. It was a clean football performance from Tua. So I don't think the offense is the issue. I don't necessarily think Mike McDaniel's the issue. I think Tua's turnovers are, magnified because of how the defense plays. Every quarterback can get away with a turnover at some point. Tua really can't because the defense is always giving up so many points. Last night, that turnover, did kill them. Don't get me wrong. And the defense played better last night than they had in weeks 1 and 2. But still, it's just these turnovers get magnified because the Dolphins cannot play defense consistently.
I agree with that, but I also feel like some of the criticism Tua is receiving is because we have seen him regress. So going by QBR, which is it's not the end all be all, but his 3rd year, so he's 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, QBR of 70, which was really good. Then he's 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, QBR of 62. Then he's 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, QBR of 57. Now we're in 3 games into the season, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, QBR of 36. So we're only 3 games in, but through the last 4 seasons, there's been a constant downward trajectory in his QBR and just his overall level of play. Is some of that McDaniel's offensive scheme being played out a little bit and maybe not adjusting to how the league is adjusting to them? I'm sure that's a part of it. But Tua, as a guy who, again, is going to be making $50, $60 million a year, you've got to overcome that.
Yeah, it's also the fact that he's gotten hit in the head too many times. Like, we really can't take away from the fact that, like, the man is concussed. The man should not be playing football at all. He should be, like, being an analyst right now because he can't play football with his head. So, like, that's got to impact. Like, you talk about how he comes off his first read all the time. Well, maybe because the left side of his brain doesn't work. I don't know. But he's been hit in the head so many times that he probably should not be playing football right now.
I agree with that. For his own safety, he definitely probably should not, because he got 3 concussions in 1 season, and
not just concussions. Like, these are like remember his fingers that night? Like,
they call it fencing posture.
Yeah, like that's happened to him. Then the other concussion that he had, he was running with the game out of reach on 3rd and short, trying to pick up a first down. That was dumb. There's just so many moments there where he gets concussed. And if you do this on national TV, your career should be done. That should be it. It's not fair.
And it's happened more than once is the issue too. The first one that started it all, where I forget who they were playing, but the defensive tackle just flung him head first into the ground. That one was really bad. I
think that was Bengals. Was that the hand?
That's what I thought. I thought it was Bengals too.
That wasn't the hand night though.
No, that wasn't. I think the hand thing might have been the same season, but the next one.
And then I think there was another one that season on the run with the game out of reach on the goal line. I think that was all the same season.
I think that one was against the Bills as well.
Yeah.
He ran into somebody, and it wasn't even he got hit that hard. It was just a regular run into each other, and he was down.
We shouldn't remember this many concussions. I feel like these all happen on national TV too, honestly.
I think they did too, because I feel like I was watching all of them.
I remember the one I was like driving and I remember hearing it. And then I saw the hand thing was a night game. I think that was on Prime. It was definitely national TV. Then the other one against the Bills probably was too. So yeah, like we shouldn't remember this many concussions for one quarterback. So like when we pick on Tua for throwing interceptions, like truthfully, like not making a joke, maybe part of the brain's off a little bit. Like
or maybe he's just scared, which would be understandable.
He doesn't look scared out there. Like he
doesn't look scared, but if there's a 1%, like if you get sped up 1% on your reads because you're worried about getting hit, I'm not saying that he is afraid. I'm not calling him weak or anything, but if that has just changed how he's wired because his self-preservation is kicking in, then that changes how good of a quarterback he can be.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that. Or something's not working and it's like, oh, my processing speed's a little down. I didn't look off this guy last night. Pick right on the goal line, game on the line. They're still not winning the game last night if he doesn't throw a pick. So that's what everyone's like, Tua cost them the game. No, he didn't. The Bills are going to go down the field and score and win the game.
Now, the Dolphins have the Jets up next and then at the Panthers. If they start 0-5, McDaniel's fired.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think McDaniel, I personally do not think he's on the hot seat too much right now because last night's game shouldn't really change anything. You were a double-digit road underdog going to Buffalo. You knew you were going to lose. The biggest thing that his team could have shown was some fight. They did that. Week 2 against the Patriots, I don't know how the Patriots beat them in week 2 after watching them last night. They are a significantly better football team than the New England Patriots. Not even close. In the same ballpark, but I would still take the Dolphins because of their speed and all that. Week 1, they just didn't show up, but the Colts look like a half-decent football team. So it's the combination, like, Mike McDaniel can win 2 in a row, be back to 2-3. Dolphins still have a really tough offense to defend. We saw it last night against the Bills. So I don't necessarily think he's on the hot seat. I still think he's a strong head coach. He needs to fix his defense, though. That's the problem for him.
I think there's also a level of discipline issues. I saw a report yesterday that over the last 2-3 years, players are showing up late to team meetings. There's some culture issues, but when they're winning, it was fine because winning solves everything, but they never address those issues. So now that they're losing, they're becoming bigger and bigger deals. And that is, I think Mike McDaniel has the tactical acumen to be a head coach, but it's the disciplinary stuff, being the leader of men stuff. That's what I worry about. Because when I see him on the sideline, and I feel the same way about Raheem Morris for the Falcons, when I see them on the sideline, they aren't saying anything. Every time. Their mouth is always closed. They're not standing by anybody. They are just looking straight ahead with like this deadpan look on their face.
Raheem Morris gives off more like leader of men vibes than Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel gives off like the dude at the party who's like stoned out of his mind, just having a good time, like trying to, like everyone flocks to. Like that's the vibe I get from him. And if he gets fired tomorrow, he'll have an offensive coordinator job next season. Like he is a brilliant offensive mind. He might just not be a head football coach, but he's probably a hard guy to fire because he's smart. The capability is there to win football games with him, and he's a cool dude. I'm sure all the players love him, but there's no way they're scared to show up in the building late with him as the head coach. What he's going to do,
Yeah, and I think it is different from someone. You look at these other coaches who are smart, but who are struggling, like a Jonathan Gannon, a Shane Steichen. They didn't have talent. You knew, get the guys in place, they can do something. McDaniel had the talent. The furthest they got, did they ever win a playoff game? I don't think they did. So they would go 11-6, 12-5, whatever, lose in the first round of the playoffs, and now you're seeing the fall off. He had those opportunities, didn't get it done.
Let me see his record before we move on to some game previews here. He's 28-25 as a head coach. I don't know if that includes last night, but he went, let's see here. He went win-loss, trying to find it. All right, here we go. So 9-8 in 22, 11-6 in 23, 24, he went 8-9. What was the Tua year? Was Tua last year?
You mean when he had his like concussions and stuff?
That was the 11-6 year.
Yeah. So 24 last year he played 11 games. In 22 he played 13 games.
Like it's hard to fire Mike McDaniel. Like 9-8, 11-6, 8-9. Now you're starting 0-3, but you easily can get back to 500 here, and then you're off to the races, kind of thing. So he shouldn't really be on the hot seat, in my opinion.
I think it's. And I'm not in the building, but I think it's disciplinary culture stuff and the team feeling just the total need to reset. We got to get rid of Tua. we're cutting Tyreek, we're firing the head coach. Let's just start new.
Yeah, definitely. But he's meant for Miami. Like he is meant to coach football in Miami. Just how he dresses, the vibe. He's that guy. So we move on here.
Yes.
Eagles versus Rams. Big game.
Let's introduce this. Let's introduce this properly. Tell the people what they're in for.
Well, they know what they're in for. We're giving game picks. 3 big games this weekend. Big game. We're taking a 1:00 game. I think we're taking a 8:00 game on Sunday, and then we're taking a Monday night football game, 8:00. 3 games. Picking them, props, analysis, all that good stuff.
So what are we starting with? We're starting with the 1:00 game. So we got Rams versus Eagles. This is a big game. Huh?
I was just about to intro it before you cut me off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it. I don't want to get in your way.
1:00 kickoff. I think it's on Fox because it's an NBC or it's a NFC game. Rams versus Eagles. We got the Rams coming in 3.5-point underdog to Philadelphia. The Rams are going to walk into the Link and beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, Grant. That is what's going to happen.
Well, the Rams played the Eagles better than anybody in the playoffs last year. And I'm going to be honest, I am with you. I think the Rams will beat them. I understand that I've been accused of being an Eagles hater, and I was slower to come around on them. And I do still have problems with the Eagles. And the Eagles really test me because there's so many things they don't do well, yet all they do is win games. So one of my personal mottos in life is it's never the right time to do the wrong thing. So I look at Jalen Hurts refusing to throw the ball. I look at the offensive schemes. I look at all these things. And they still win games. So they're messing with me. They're messing with my psychology because I can't figure them out. I do still think the Rams are a better team than them, and I'm with you. I think they will go into Philadelphia, and they will beat them on 1:00 NBC, whatever, Fox, whatever you said, the 1:00 Sunday. I think the Rams get it done.
Sunday, 1:00 on Fox because it's an NFC game. That was a tongue twister. Yeah. I think the tush push should be banned. I'm starting to get behind the tush push being banned. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm over it. And this is the thing. So it has nothing to do. Whenever the Eagles players say the league is mad that we do it better than everybody and they can try it too, they are absolutely right. If that is the angle, then it should not be banned because they are correct. You shouldn't ban something because we can do it well and nobody else can. That's not where the issue lies. The issue lies in a couple areas. Number one, it's inherently unfair. Per the NFL rules, the offense can push the offense. The defense cannot push the defense. So it's an unfair playing field. Number one, that right there, that is grounds to ban it because one side can do something the other can't. How's that even fair? The other thing is the Eagles commit penalties on every single play. Every single one of them. It's a false start. They're lining up over the center. They're not uncovered. There's something wrong every single time they run this play. And if you need an example of that, go watch against the Chiefs. So the first time they do the tush push by the goal line, it's a touchdown. They don't call it one. They say, no, it's 4th down. So the Eagles line back up. They false start. They do not get across the goal line, and the refs say that's a touchdown. So they've already missed 3 calls on 2 plays there. Then there's one somewhere in the middle of the field where I think it's Chris Jones literally punches the ball before it snapped. The center still got his hand on the ball. Chris Jones punches it. Jalen Hurts picks it up, dives across for a 1st down, and they don't call an offsides. And the whole time the center's uncovered. There's a false start. The referees came out and said, yeah, we should have thrown the flag here because this was a false start on the tush push. They can't officiate it. It's a broken play. It's an unfair play because the offense can do something the defense can't. It has nothing to do with Philadelphia being better at it than everybody. It's a dumb play, and it should be out of the game of football.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest reason I think it should be banned is the fact that it's hard to police. Like the referees cannot really call it fair. It's hard. Like I know the false start looks clear when you break it down by on video, but from a naked eye, when you're like really zoned in on a play where just you got a bunch of masses of men on top of each other, it's really hard to call. I think it's unfair in the sense of like if you're gonna keep the tush push, you need to have a much quicker whistle. As soon as that forward momentum is stopped, we can't allow the offense just continue to push and push because a lot of times, at least on Sunday, the Chiefs did stop the initial push and then it just they just lean on Jalen Hurts and he gets over the line of scrimmage. So I think they need to really change how they run it. Like quarterback sneaks are obviously fine. Maybe you can't have this many people in the backfield, X amount of people in the backfield when you're doing a quarterback sneak, just because it's unfair. It's unfair. Don't get me wrong. The Eagles are better at it than everybody else, but it just takes away an aspect of the game. Like I want to see 3rd and 1. I want to see a team have to run the football to get across the line of scrimmage and get a first down. It makes the game more exciting. Now we get a tush push. They could be set 3rd and 3. You can run it twice and get it. They're the only team where you can run a quarterback sneak that's like more than a yard and consistently pick it up. So it's just annoying at this point. And Eagles fans are like, oh, we can do it better than everybody else, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that.
No, and again, they are right, but that's not what's unfair about it. Also, let's not act like professional sports leagues, NBA, MLB included in this. The NBA added the 3-point line. They got rid of defensive 3 seconds. They got rid of hand checking. And the MLB, they added the pitch clock. They banned the shift. They do things to make the game more watchable and more exciting. Sometimes it has nothing to do with competitive integrity. It's what is good for the interest of the fans at home, what's good for the nature of the game. And the Eagles, they start in 1st and 8 basically every single possession, because if they get to 3rd and 2, you said 3rd and 3, and they could do that, but 3rd and 2, it's a guarantee. If they just run two tush pushes, 3rd down, 4th down, it's a first down every single time. So
go ahead.
No, that's all I got. Go ahead.
I'd be like Jalen Hurts. Like you're getting crunched every single time you run that play too. Like I don't. You're putting your franchise quarterback in a situation that's not safe. Like multiple times a game.
That's something that I've said, and you can see it reflected in now. Jalen's still a young guy. He's like 26, 27 years old, but he's so much less nimble than he was when he entered the NFL. So these hits they're weighing down on him, and give it another 5 years, like he might be relatively immobile.
Yeah, no, definitely. But looking at this game, we both think the Rams are going to come in and win outright. I think this is a really bad matchup stylistically for the Philadelphia Eagles. You saw what happened in week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys threw all over them. That was a game that Dallas could have won and had multiple opportunities to win, pending CeeDee Lamb held on to a few more passes. They probably do end up winning that game. We go to week 2 now. The narrative has changed around the Philadelphia Eagles. You have a team that beats the Kansas City Chiefs with literally no vertical threats down the field. Just because they beat a Patrick Mahomes with a wounded football team means they're back. Like I look at the Eagles offense. They still don't look good. They didn't look good against Chiefs defense. They should have looked better against the Chiefs defense. As far as offensively moving the ball, or the Chiefs offense moving the ball against the Eagles defense, Chiefs had no chance to move the football because you don't have Xavier Worthy in there. You don't have any speed at all. And when you don't have speed, you can't win in the NFL. So I think this is just going to be a much different matchup for them. I think the Rams are going to have a lot of success. I think we're going to see an Eagles defense that looks closer to the week 1 defense against the Dallas Cowboys. I also think we're going to see the Eagles offense struggle because we haven't seen them take off yet. Obviously, there's a lack of connection right now between Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts. And if you go back to the playoff game last year, Saquon Barkley had 205 rushing yards, but A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith barely caught passes. Again, they didn't need to. It was in the snow. They were running the football. But that ultimately cost them down the stretch when Matthew Stafford was lighting them up and had a chance to win the game in the 4th quarter.
So I got a little parlay here for you. 3 legs plus 445 odds. So you bet $1, you win $4.45, and multiply that out by however many dollars you want to bet. So Rams plus 3.5. I do think they're going to win, but let's be safe here. Let's take the 3.5. Let's take the real spread just so we can get covered in a field goal loss. But if I'm looking at this game, Stafford has been excellent. He's actually the top-ranked, most efficient passer in the NFL right now, while Jalen Hurts is down there at the bottom. He's got the most time to throw, yet he's averaging the lowest depth of target. His depth of target is something like 3-4 yards. He's not pushing the ball down the field. And that worked last year when you had the historic defense and when Saquon Barkley was rushing for 2,000 yards. But the moment you run into a team that's actually going to put up a fight, and I get it, they just beat the Chiefs, but this is not the same Chiefs as years past. I think this Chiefs team's going like 10-7, something like that. When you run into a Rams team that is playing really good, their defense has been outstanding. They can get after the quarterback. They can throw the football. They can run it effectively. They've got 2 excellent outside receivers. When you've got a team facing all that, you have to throw the football. You have to take some chances. And Jalen, basically, the only time he's throwing the football down the field is if it's one-on-one with a 0 blitz, absolutely no chance of help over the top, and he's throwing a jump ball up to the side to Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. AJ has been terrible to start this year. A lot of Eagles fans are saying that he's got an injury. I hope he does, because the way he's been playing, he looks awful. The passing concepts, the play calling, it's been atrocious so far for the Eagles. This is where they get outcoached by the Rams. They get outplayed by a better team. They get outcoached by Sean McVay. They get outplayed by a better team. I'm going to take Hurts under 190.5 passing yards, kind of like I was just talking about there. The Eagles passing concepts, if you watch the all 22, they make no sense. Nobody is getting open. I'll blame Jalen. I will give blame to Jalen for a lot of decisions he's making, but I'm not going to act as if his coaches are just scheming players open. They're not doing a good job of that. AJ's not playing well, and the Rams can bring pressure, and they've allowed something like 170 passing yards per game so far. They played Cam Ward, who's a rookie, but he's going to sling the football. They played CJ Stroud, held them both under 185 yards, something like that. And then the final leg, Kieran Williams, anytime touchdown, got 18 carries and 17 carries in the 2 games so far this season. 12 touchdowns 2 years ago, 14 touchdowns last year. Anytime they get near the goal line, they're giving him opportunities. So that's my 3-leg parlay.
I like it. I don't love it because I'm going to be on Jalen Hurts over 190.5 passing yards in this football game. And here's my reasoning for it. When you look at what happened in the playoff game, Saquon Barkley destroyed the Los Angeles Rams. If I am Sean McVay, I am coming, seeing how bad the Eagles passing game has been so far this season. I'm coming in this game, I'm loading up the box, and I'm saying they are not gaining a single yard on the ground in this football game. We are going to shut down Saquon Barkley. Nobody is beating us in this game that's named Saquon Barkley. If we're going to get beat, it's going to be because Jalen Hurts is throwing the football down the field. So I think schematically, we're going to see the Rams defense going crazy to shut down the run. If they do that, it's going to force Jalen Hurts to have to throw the ball in this game. A.J. Brown, whether he's hurt or not, he hasn't looked good, but at the same time, too, you look at just overall, it's hard for a guy like A.J. Brown to just make catches on 3rd and long. Like, you got to get these guys in rhythm. You got to get them catching the football early. You got to get them, feeling a little bit of getting in a groove. Same thing with Devontae Smith. They haven't been able to do that. It's just been, okay, 3rd down, we're going to throw the football now. So I think they got to come out throwing early and downs. I think they have to lean on the passing game this week just because Saquon Barkley, if I'm the Rams, I'm not letting him run for 205 yards again. Like that simply can't happen. So I would go over 190.5 passing yards there for Jalen Hurts. I also really like an A.J. Brown touchdown this week. Same kind of concept, being around the goal line. You want to get to your big body. He is a jump ball guy. We look at last year when he was struggling early in the season. That was a spot where, I think his first touchdown catch was one of his first big games of the season. Get him going around the goal line, especially if the Rams load the box and have trouble shutting down a guy or try to shut down a guy like Saquon Barkley. So I would go with an anytime touchdown there. And then for a receiving prop, I'd go Puka Nacua over 82.5 receiving yards. I just ultimately think the Rams are going to be able to throw the ball on the Eagles. Eagles were allowing too much vertical threats down the field against the Dallas Cowboys. I still think they have holes in the secondary. I don't think Jalen Carter makes that much of a difference from a pass rush perspective. I think the Chiefs would have had a lot more success throwing the football if they had Xavier Worthy in there last week. So I think the Rams passing game is going to be just fine here. 82.5 for Puka. I will take Jalen Hurts over 190.5, and I'll take an A.J. Brown touchdown.
Yeah, we're split on the Jalen Hurts one, but I'll be honest, I get the logic with what you're saying, and I do like your other 2 props as well. Puka, this guy's just like inevitable. He's like a superhero. I mean, in the opener, 10 catches for 130 yards against the Titans. Only 8 catches for 91 yards, but then he scores a 45-yard jet sweep touchdown. So 45 yards on the ground. Like this dude is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. We ready for a little Chiefs Giants action?
Yeah, let's go. Sunday Night Football, prime time. I got another parlay. I'm sure you got your props as well. Must win for the Chiefs. This first time they've been 0-2 in the Patrick Mahomes era. Both teams are 0-2. Who would have thought you'd say that about the Chiefs going into a primetime game in week 3?
Yeah, I think this is a spot that the Chiefs have to win. Like there is no, I will be putting so many Chiefs legs in my parlay this week. Like every single parlay I have is going to cap off with the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football in a must-win spot. And if you're the New York Giants, you should be salivating at the mouth that you get the chance to end the Chiefs dynasty. Because if you go 0-3 and you're the Kansas City Chiefs and that involves a loss to the New York Giants, you're probably done. There's no doubt about it. They can definitely get back. They can get back, but you can't start 0-3 if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and have any expectation of being a Super Bowl team. If anybody can do it, it's probably Patrick Mahomes. I still don't think it's going to happen. I think they get a win on Sunday night.
Well, if any team out there is used to ending AFC dynasties, it's the New York Giants.
Yeah, but that's Eli Manning. That's not the New York Giants. That's not Brian Dable. Brian Dable's used to ending a pack of donuts at Dunkin'.
Hey, that was low.
He's fat again, and that's why everyone thought they were going to be good because he got fat and he started wearing Jordans during training camp, and they suck.
Have you seen the documentary about the people who go on Biggest Loser and then they gain all the weight when they leave?
I don't know, like just as somebody who has lost 140 pounds, like I personally, it takes a sick individual to go gain it back. I don't know how you could ever gain it back because I don't know why you'd want to put yourself through that pain again to lose it.
I mean, they basically dive into a lot of the very unhealthy stuff. There's a lot of like evil psychological pressure from the coaches, and they give them a bunch of caffeine supplements. They said they weren't going to give them during the show, and they starve their bodies to the point that they get injured. And so the people go home injured and they just sit around and they gain the weight back. Like it was pretty nasty. Some of the stuff they had to go through actually.
Biggest Loser was dangerous. Like that, they lost like 100 pounds in like 3 months.
Yeah, it was really bad. They were eating, again, they were detailing it on the documentary, but they would eat like 800 calories in a day and work out for 6 hours.
No, that was a wild with Jillian Michaels and I forget the other trainer's name.
Bob something.
Yeah, that was a wild. Like they would lose weight. They would lose 100 pounds in 3 months. I think. I don't know if it was extreme, but it was pretty crazy what they would do. But again, even if you get injured and you have a rough time and you lose all this weight and now you're sitting at home, you're still skinny. Like the weight doesn't just come back on. Like that's the thing. You have to eat to get it back on. So even if you'd have an unhealthy way of losing that 100 pounds, it's not going to come back on if you just live a balanced lifestyle and eat 2,000 calories a day and go for a freaking walk. You know?
Well, okay. So I got to be honest. I'm very thankful that my parents put me in sports when I was young. I'm very thankful that I enjoy being active because I eat a lot. And I wake up every morning and my stomach hurts because I'm hungry and I need to eat. So if I wasn't into working out and everything, I would probably be pretty huge.
But like, even if you just eat 2,000 calories, like, and you can eat like vegetable, obviously people don't want like vegetables and all these like filling things, but like you eat a lot of fiber, you eat vegetables, you get a lot of bang for your buck in terms of calorie. I just don't know how these people put it back on. It blows my mind. Have you seen the guy on Instagram, Ethan Bernard, he's like the big redhead who's losing a bunch of weight?
I haven't, no.
Check him out. He's pretty cool. I don't know if that was his last name, but his first name's Ethan. But anyways, we're kind of getting off topic. But Brian Dable, I think NFL coaches are better when they're fat, for sure.
Ooh, that's a good thought.
Let's just go through a list real quick. NFL.
Well, are we doing current NFL? I mean, Andy Reid's fat.
No, we got to do current head coaches. I mean, so Gannon's skinny. He hasn't done anything yet. Raheem Morris will get fired. John Harbaugh's good. Can't win a big game. Buffalo, Sean McDermott, good. Can't win a big game. Dave Canales is nothing. Ben Johnson sucks. Zach Taylor sucks. Kevin Stefanski, whatever. Schottenheimer, Sean Payton, he's a little pudgy.
Yeah, but he's old.
Yeah. Dan Campbell hasn't won a big game yet.
Dan Campbell's fat. I mean, he's also muscular, but he's fat.
He's not fat. He's
one of those people that has just a massive frame to begin with, and now he's kind of added some weight onto that.
So I actually going through the Vrabel's fat.
Andy Reid is fat.
Dable's fat. Going through the list of NFL head coaches, honestly, I don't think the principle works. Dan Quinn's fat. Like there's not fat NFL head coaches anymore. There's really
I'm looking at the list.
You got to go off college coaches.
And maybe older NFL coaches. Belichick was fat.
Belichick was very fat. But like you go to college head coaches, best college head coach, like Kirby Smart's fat.
Kirby Smart's fat.
A little bit.
Ryan Day's fat.
Ryan Day's a little chubby. Davo Sweeney, wild press conference from him the other day, but I wouldn't call him fat. Marcus Freeman is not fat. Sark is not fat.
Kalen DeBoer's not fat, but he's young, so it kind of cancels out.
Dan Lanning's not fat. James Franklin's not
fat. He's young too. That doesn't count.
There's not fat coaches anymore. Wow.
We need a Lance Leopold, the Kansas coach.
Yeah. We really need some fat coaches. Because I used to think that fat head coaches were better. There's not a lot of fat coaches out there.
Okay, so should we get back on topic here?
Money line, Chiefs -5.5. Patrick Mahomes over the passing yards, which is set at 230.
Yeah, 230 something. Yeah.
If Worthy comes back. If Worthy doesn't come back, I'd probably stay away. But if Worthy's back, I would take the over there. I'll take the Chiefs to cover the spread. I'll also take Travis Kelce over his receiving yards of 44.5. Malik Neighbors over his receiving yards of 79.5. That's kind of where I'm at with this game. I'm taking all overs. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair. And I think it's one that if you are Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, go win me the football game. Put the game on him. Don't worry about running the ball. And you're not going to be able to run the ball against the New York Giants front seven. You're going to have to throw the ball quick. Also, one more prop too. This reminded me. Mahomes over 32.5 passing attempts. Love that prop.
Okay. Chiefs versus Giants, 3-leg parlay for me, plus 263 odds. Not the biggest parlay in the world, but I like it a lot. I'm going to go Chiefs money line. I'm not going to put the spread because, I mean, why would you with what they've done so far this season? I think if I had to pick, I would take them to cover, but I'll just be safe. I'll take them on the money line because they're going to win. That if they don't win, hell's going to freeze over. Pigs are going to fall out of the sky. Everything's going to happen. I'll take Russell Wilson under 226.5 passing yards. I know he was outstanding against the Cowboys. I saw it too. I also saw firsthand because I was at the game. He was atrocious against the Commanders, completed like 40% of his passes, under 200 yards. The Chiefs blitzed Jalen Hurts on something like 65% of his dropbacks last week, and they had success doing it. Jalen didn't even get to 100 yards in the game. When the Commanders played the Giants in week 1, the Commanders were just blitzing the crap out of Russell Wilson, and he was so squeamish, he basically stopped even trying to throw the ball in the third quarter. He would just scramble every time. So I think the Chiefs are going to roll over that game plan. I think they're just going to blitz the hell out of him. Russ goes under, and I'll take Kareem Hunt over 28.5 rushing yards. He's terrible at football. I get it, but they still continue to give him carries. I think the Chiefs will dominate time of possession. I think you get to the third, fourth quarter, you know you're going to win. You just run the football, and it's 28.5 rushing yards. If you get 4 good runs, you're over this line.
Him and Pacheco both kind of suck.
They both suck.
They both suck. They both just run with their heads straight down and right into the back of their offensive lineman.
I don't know why the Chiefs feel that they can do this to Mahomes. And I'm not like here to defend them and be like, oh, woe is me. Oh, poor Patrick Mahomes. But like if you just look around, you've got a rookie left tackle. You've got your receivers are Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Tyquan Thornton, who you just signed because he was released by the Patriots. Worthy is injured. Even when Worthy's healthy, he's not a number 1 receiver. Even when Rashee Rice is available, not speeding with guns, he's not a number 1 receiver. He's a number 2. Your running backs are awful. Travis Kelce's 38 years old. I don't know why they feel like this is a Super Bowl level offense just because you have Patrick Mahomes. You still got to give him some help.
Yeah, you got to give him help. They don't need it this year to win this football game, though. This is one where the Giants go get the job done, or the Chiefs go in and get the job done.
Yeah, this is why I was beefing with Giants fans during the offseason because Giants fans were trying to insist that they're a 500 football team, and I was saying, okay, if you just look at the roster and you say, I could see this team going 500, that part's fair. But when you look at their schedule, and I've said this so many times before, but they start at Commanders, at Cowboys. We now know they're 0-2. You get the Chiefs, and then you get the Chargers. That's 0-4. You're at the Saints. Maybe you get a win. So you're 1-4. Then you have Eagles, at Broncos, at Eagles, 49ers, at Bears, Packers, Lions, at Patriots, Commanders, Vikings, at Raiders, Cowboys. You could win 3 games all year. I mean, that schedule is just so tough.
It's brutal. You don't have a ton of talent. I mean, we'll see Jackson Dart at some point this season. I think the only way Brian Dable saves his job for another year is just by having Jackson Dart play, because at least you can say, well, halfway through the season, we weren't getting the job done, and we went Jackson Dart, and he looked good, and, we don't want to change coaches for another year. We'll see what year one of Jackson Dart looks like after a half season, year 1.5.
Yeah, and Dart's either got to be good or he's got to improve as the year goes on. If he just goes out there and throws a million picks, Dable's probably gone.
Yeah, definitely. So Monday Night Football here. We got the Detroit Lions going up against the Baltimore Ravens, ESPN, Manning cast, however you want to watch it. We got a big game on Monday night. Lions are a 5.5-point road underdog against the Baltimore Ravens. I think this line is trying to captivate the public. I think people are going to want to take Detroit here in this spot. And don't get me wrong, Detroit's kind of back after their win over the Bears, but I can't get out of my head what they did in week 1 against Green Bay. I think Baltimore is the best team in the NFL, in my opinion. It's not the Buffalo Bills. It is the Baltimore Ravens if they don't turn the ball over. I probably won't play it. I'll probably take Baltimore in like a money line parlay, cap something off there with them, or I'll tease up Detroit a little higher, which I'm still kind of afraid of. But this is a game that I think Baltimore just finds a way to win because they're a better football team.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go through the 0 on a teaser, so you wouldn't want to move the Ravens to +2.5, +3.5, whatever. But I'm with you. Teasing, if you get, it's 5.5. If you tease it up 7 points to build or to Lions +12.5, I could still see the Ravens winning by more than 12.5 points in this game.
Yeah, easily. It could be just like, and I had a teaser with the Detroit Lions in week 1. I brought them up after they were playing against the Packers and they lost, and Jared Goff didn't look good, and it, on the road kind of game, and this is outdoors. I know it's only September, which is good for playing in Baltimore, but it's still a really tough spot for Detroit to walk into. Don't get me wrong. If any team can go in there and beat the Baltimore Ravens, it's Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. And we gave our picks against the spread for every game on NFL Sunday. If you guys are watching this video, but you haven't seen that one, just go back, go to the channel, go back a couple of videos. We gave picks against the spread for every game. Or did I say in week 1? I don't know what I said, but we gave picks for every game on Sunday. And we both said Ravens -5.5. I think it was -6 when we recorded, because this could be a close game. This could be a tie game. And then if the Ravens score a touchdown with 2 minutes left to win the game, they've covered. If it's a tie game and they score a touchdown, they've covered. And you're looking at this, and if they win by 7 points, and I would tell you right now the spread is Ravens -7, you'd be like, oh, that's crazy. But no, it's just a tie game with a late touchdown. That's all it is. And the Ravens, like you said, I think they're the better team as well. I think the Packers have played the best of every team so far this season, but I do still believe the Ravens are the best team in the NFL, like you. They are at home. Jared Goff is not in his beloved dome, and we know how much worse he gets on the road there. I know the Ravens gave up big plays to the Bills, but you know what? The Lions gave up big plays to the Packers, and I like the Ravens defense better than the Lions. I like the Ravens offense better than I like the Lions offense. They're at home. All those reasons make me go Ravens. I'm sticking to the pick there, and I'm confident. And I have it in my parlay, so I can roll on over into that. So I've got a 3-legger. This is my highest value parlay that we've done so far today. I've got +729 odds here. Ravens -5.5 is the first leg. I'm going to go Lamar Jackson over 217.5 passing yards. Now, I get it. He hasn't really been asked to air the ball out all that much this season. He had 14 completions in week 1, 19 completions in week 2. Here's the thing. If the Lions are still the Lions and they can still score points, that means the Ravens are going to be required to score points. And that's not a concern. I know they can score. It just means Lamar's going to throw the ball more. This is a very low line. You can get over it. He averaged 244 passing yards per game last season. And if the Lions are going to put pressure on him, he's going to be able to respond. So I got him going over. And then I'm going to take Jameson Williams under 55.5 receiving yards. He's kind of a one-trick pony right now. And it's a good trick to have because he's got this electrifying speed. He can go bursting open down the field. But he had 2 catches for like 100 yards last week, and that's great. Got a 64-yard touchdown. I don't think that's going to happen against Baltimore. And in the other game, he caught 4 passes for something like 27 yards. So as long as you keep him in front of you, and the Ravens played the Bills, they know what it's like to play an explosive offense, just keep him in front of you, and you should be able to take him out of the game.
I like it. I'm going to go with the Ravens to win the game outright. I'm just going to take Ravens money line. I don't want to worry about points here. I can't worry about points, honestly, because again, it could be tight. It could be a Ravens field goal. There's a lot of different ways this game could play out. So I just don't have that vision in my mind. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown over 6.5 total receptions. He had 9 last week against the Bears. When they're rolling, he's catching 7 passes a game when they are playing well. And I think this is a spot where the Ravens are going to put up points. They're going to be able to score. So they're going to have to answer for Detroit. And that means Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be heavily involved. 11 targets last week, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. You could take him, catch a touchdown. Whatever way you want to use Amon-Ra St. Brown in your same game parlays, I think it's okay this week. And then my final leg here, which I love, Derrick Henry under 17.5 for his longest rush. I think the Detroit Lions are going to show up, load up the box, and force Lamar Jackson to beat them through the air. Spot where you don't want to get beat by Henry. That 17.5, like I know Derrick Henry's a stud. I know he can rip off big gains, but like Detroit's physical. They're going to show up. That like Dan Campbell's going to set the tone for them this week as far as we got to tackle. 18 yards is a long run. I don't care how good of a back you are. That's a long run, and he can do it. He's more than capable of ripping off 50-yard runs every week. But this isn't like week 1 against Buffalo where Buffalo's like, hey, we're going to play balance. This is Dan Campbell coming there saying we got to stop the run to have a chance in the football game.
So Detroit 13th, which is obviously better than average in yards allowed per rush attempt, 4.1, and they are third in defensive EPA per run play. So statistically, they are very efficient at stopping the run.
Yeah, I like it. Under 17's a lot. That's a lot of yards. It's very capable. It's very doable for Derrick Henry. That's a lot.
The thing with Derrick Henry is if he goes over 17.5, it's probably a 40-yard run.
Yeah, it's not like it's an 18-yard run. It's like it's open space. And you really for him to go over 17.5, though, they got to block it well. He can't be touched in the front 7, and then he's got to make somebody miss the second level. Very doable, but if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm saying we cannot get beat by Derrick Henry running the football in this game. That's the way they go on the road and win. You shut down Derrick Henry, you force Lamar to pass. He can still beat you through the air, but if you're trying to shut down both, you can't. You have no chance of winning if you're like, hey, we're going to play Derrick Henry, we're also going to play Lamar Jackson. You got to key on one.
And in the opener, Derrick Henry against the Bills, 169 yards, 9.4 yards per carry. In week 2 against the Browns, 11 carries for 23 yards, averaged 2.1, a longest rush of 8.
That's crazy that the Browns defense is really that good. And that game was never even close, but they just took Derrick Henry out of the game.
The Browns defense, I don't, if you're a defensive player, I just don't know why you would sign there, because for the past however long, their defense shows you if we could win a Super Bowl with this defense, but the offense is so bad that they end up picking first in the draft. Their offense has just been that bad. It's like a middle school offense with a Super Bowl defense.
Yeah. I mean, listen, money talks. Like I think if you ask these guys what means more, money or Super Bowls, they're going to say money. But I mean, if
are you calling Myles Garrett a liar? You don't think he stayed there because he could win a Super Bowl, like he said?
He's staying there for the money. If you got, these guys are taking $10 million more than a Super Bowl ring, 100%, no doubt about it. Depends on where they're at in their career, obviously, but they're about the money.
You know what? So speaking of Myles Garrett, whoever the next edge rusher to sign a contract is, like who's that dude? Myles Garrett's making 40. TJ Watt's getting 41. Micah moved it to 47. Is the next guy getting 48? Or do they look at that like the Deshaun Watson contract where they're like, that's such an outlier, we're just going to pretend that never happened, and you're getting 41.5?
It's going to be 41.5. Micah took it to a whole different level that I don't know if he's even deserving of. Like, he's deserving of it if the Packers go in and win the Super Bowl. If they don't, it's a waste to give him that much money, because he could have got him for probably a little cheaper, but they just wanted to make him happy, and he's happy to be there. So I guess it works out if you win the Super Bowl.
My guess is also it had something to do with taxes, because, difference in taxes between living in Texas and living in Wisconsin. So I'm guessing he and his agent were like, well, if you want to factor in how much money I'm actually making, we need this. And the Packers just gave it to him.
Wisconsin's not expensive, though. It's middle America. It's probably
Texas doesn't have income tax, right?
Yeah, Texas, I don't think has income tax, but it's not like Wisconsin's. It's not like it's the cost of living in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's a ton of money either.
No, but I mean, any form of income tax versus none, it's a big difference.
Does Wisconsin have income tax?
I would assume so. Look at us. We're learning today.
Yes, Wisconsin has a state income tax. Rates range from 3.5 to 7.6. So he's 7.6 for sure.
Yeah, and Texas does not. Okay.
So yeah, it maybe had something to do with that too. I just, again, when you're talking 41 versus 47, like it's more just setting new records. It's not making a difference in their life,
Well, I mean, who is going to be the next edge rusher to get that contract? Because Max Crosby signed his, Myles Garrett signed his this offseason, TJ Watt signed his this offseason, Micah just got it. It's going to kick in next year. Is there anybody really in that class who's like deserving? I think the next guy's probably Abdul Carter.
Yeah, probably. That's a long time away.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think so. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson signed, so there's no.
and he's also what 30, 31. He's
30,
he's not. I know he has the same number of sacks, but he's not who those guys are.
See, the Bengals though, it was pointless to give him money. I know he's made plays. I know you need him on your defense. You're still not going to be good though.
Well, especially now that Joe Burrow. We need to have a conversation about Joe Burrow one day. I get it. He's incredible, but he's been in the NFL for what, 6 years with 3 season-ending injuries?
Not his fault though. He's been sacked more than anybody else.
Right, but
it's not his
if you're
fault.
not on the field, the best ability in sports is availability. That's what we always say. So if you're not on the field, can I say you're one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the world?
You gotta put somebody in front of you, though. You got to put a group in front of you that can defend you and block for you, and they have not been able to do that. So I wouldn't say it's his fault. He took them to the Super Bowl in a year where he had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. Like he is.
I'm not saying it is his fault, but if he's not available, that lowers his value.
No, definitely, but you need to put him in front of a good offensive line. If he just didn't get hit, he'd be fine.
You know the meme of it's like the screen is cut in half and it's like literally anybody and then Jamar Chase and it's like Burrow getting killed and then it says Penei Sewell, literally anybody downfield and it's a completed pass. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that meme has it's aged very well for the Penei Sewell yes men who said that the Bengals should have taken him.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Grant, that does it for the pod today.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a fun one. We talked about a lot today, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the show, like the podcast, share the podcast. Also, check out WSN.com, writing sports betting previews on there, promo codes, bonus bets, all that good stuff. You can find all that information on WSN.com.
100%, guys. So make sure, like Tanner said, you do check out WSN.com, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on this video. Make sure you go to the comment section, leave us your thoughts on our picks and some of our opinions on these games. And we will catch you all in the next episode of Ride the Line.